Hello, hard-working students of History 102. Welcome to the new temporary normal, huh? Kind of crazy. First off, if you haven't heard by now, official LCSC policy is that your classes are going to be delivered through some kind of online platform from this point forward. So that's not just this class, that's all of them. So we're doing it this way, or sort of this way, for the rest of the term. And in case you are completely unaware as to why, right, the Center for Disease Control is requesting everyone to slow the curve by, putting some distance between us. And I'll talk about that real briefly in a few minutes, but I talked about it quite a bit the last time we spoke. However, if you recall earlier in the term, we discussed the pandemic spread of smallpox among Native Americans. No one had immunity. Everyone got it. Probably going to happen like that here too. The mission is to prevent hospitals from being overwhelmed by getting a bunch of people all at once who have, a bad case of it. And, you don't have to have a whole lot of percentage of the people have a bad case of it to overwhelm your public health facilities, right? I get it. It's a stressful time right now. Believe me, I get that. Journal anxiety. We've all got some degree of preparation to do. We don't exactly know what's going on. Just do your best to relax. And as far as this class is concerned, just trust me. When we hit hiccups, when you hit personal hiccups, and they're going to happen, I'm going to be flexible. I'm going to work with you. So there's enough to try to keep yourself at bay from panicking about. Don't make this course one of those things too, right? Get any personal stuff you need to done. Yeah, whatever. If you need to get out and, buy food and some supplies to hunker down, do that before you start dealing with Marx and Engels for today, right? If you got a dorm room that needs packing, start dealing with it. And then you can deal with this class sort of slowly as you go. I get it. Some of us have other things that we also need to do at the same time. I'll work with you. Just trust me on that. And then when we're all at home, hunkered down, wondering how we're going to spend our time, then we can get serious again about dealing with history. All right? No problems. So, I got Tuesday sort of sorted out. I got Thursday sort of sorted out. That is for March 17th and 19th. I don't have a whole lot squared away for the 24th and the 26th. That's a little more complicated because that involves a potential map quiz. I got to really think that through. I was thinking about some ways to do that. Don't think I'm ready to spring them on you. I will spring them on you by Thursday. My intention is to have another video like this on Thursday. Probably going to limit it to 15 minutes. That way my YouTube channel works with them just fine. So, anyway, the new format that you need to be aware of, and the next time we do this, I might be doing it through Blackboard Collaborate, so I have a better idea about how to show you some screenshots. But when you go to our webpage, there is a new section under course materials. It's right under the introduction. It's called course content. All right. Course content is going to be the thing you're using from this point forward. Inside course content, I am going to have a weekly folder in there every week. This is the stuff you need to do. It'll tell you what to do. There'll be links to the stuff to do it. And then I'll send some videos to set you up. So click on that course content folder. And as of right now, what you'll see is a week 9 and a week 10. Now, don't worry about week 10 yet. Week 9, real simple. Let's slow things down. Let's just deal with the rest of chapter 21 before we move on to anything else. All right, that's what I want to do. The only thing we have this week is chapter 21. Okay, so when you click on to week 9, there we go. The first thing you'll see, right, is the pre-class warm-up. Watch the first 10 minutes of that PBS NewsHour. It'll feel just like you're in class, right? You don't have to do that, but I like those things. I also provided a few links on there so that you can kind of understand a little bit about what's going on. Something from the Washington Post about flattening the curve. That has actually got some really cool simulations in it where it's got these like dots. There's like 100 dots in a box, and one of the dots is infected. They got them going around randomly to see how long it takes to like turn all the other dots the same color. And then they do the same thing with X amount of the dots staying still and how much longer it takes. Even if you don't want to read the whole article, those simulations are worth looking at. They're cool. The other two things that are on there is one of them is the President's Coronavirus Guidelines for America. That is like a 1-page or a 2-page thing. Do these 5 things, right? Take a look at it. And then I included the link to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention. That should be your go-to source for like wanting to know what's up, whose recommendations to take. Those are actually medical doctors working with this stuff. So use that stuff, right? That'll just help inform you. What else do I have here? I'm just doing one take, one take. Okay, other things. In a minute, I'm going to tell you a little bit about what's going on in those folders, but the other thing I want to talk about is office hours. I am going to start holding online office hours starting March 17th, Tuesday. 9 a.m. is the target time. That's our class time. So my target time is from 9 a.m. to 10:15. I'll have some form of office hours, which only the members of this class are allowed to be in. And then maybe I'll run general office hours from 10:30 to 11:30 as usual, and then I'll run office hours from other classes, right? Now, the way I'm going to do that, at least for tomorrow, is I am going to run that through a program known as Zoom. It's like FaceTime or Google Hangouts. And so what's going to happen is when I get ready to be online, I'm going to send a class announcement, and it'll have a link, and it'll basically say, if you want to talk to me, hit the link, you'll fire up, and we'll talk. So we can answer any kind of questions you have. You do not have to download anything with Zoom. That's one of the nice things about it. And then we'll just kind of see how it works, right? Because I don't necessarily want to be standing around with my face on a screen for an hour and 15 minutes if nobody ever shows up, but we'll do it tomorrow, okay? Now, the other thing to think about in terms of the class going forward and what we're going to be doing, next week, we're doing the online thing. That's what I know, okay? I mean this week. Yeah, this week. That's what's familiar to me. Probably going to do a similar thing next week just because all this has happened so fast. But after spring break, I want to think a little bit about whether or not we should try to have 9 a.m. course meetings in terms of with Blackboard Collaborate so that we can talk and things. I'm getting some different feedback from some of my colleagues about how difficult that is for some of y'all, and we'll just see how that works, right? Because I'd really like to be able to do that, but at the same time, if people have technological issues or whatever, then maybe we should do a podcast. It becomes more lecture-y than I really want, but maybe we do something where I shoot a podcast or I do a video. It is way more lecture-y than I really want. But then from 9 a.m. to 9:15, we do that, or to 10:15, we do the Zoom things. And if you had comments about stuff you want to talk about, so we'll sort it out. All right, that's the office hours. I'll send that announcement out tomorrow when I'm ready for it, and that should also come across your emails. All right, that's most of the stuff, kind of. Now, the stuff that I want you to do for tomorrow, if you go into our website, it says, and then you go into the course content link, and then you go into the stuff for March 17th. I want us to talk about Ingalls and Smith. All right, that is simple enough. You can participate as much as you want. I will certainly work that in as extra credit. I would love to, or as class participation, but the requirement is 100 words, something interesting about Marx and Engels. Let's just talk about it, right? Now, I've got some better guidelines than that inside the content folder. In order to get there, there's a little thing that says this will take you to the proper discussion board. You link on it, you fly right to it. It says Marx, Engels, and Smith. And in order to participate in this conversation, the only way you're going to be able to do it is just to hit reply to what I've already written. I threw up some videos on there. One of them is the Adam Smith video we've already seen. One of them is one of the 8-bit videos on Marxism, and then another one is a video of on Karl Marx, kind of like the Adam Smith one we watched, so that maybe that stuff puts things into context for you from your readings. I would love to just leave it at boom, discuss. I know where that will get me. So just thinking about things like Marx and Engels see a revolution as inevitable in the process of industrialization and capitalism. What's the revolution? What do they see as the problem? How do they see the crisis of 1848 as different than previous crises? Were they right? Who are the bourgeois? Who are the proletariat? What are the achievements of the bourgeois? I mean, there's an interesting way to read this in which he is not necessarily opposed to capitalism. He just doesn't like the way it's being used. And is that too contradictory to make sense? So I want you guys to start with the Smith piece. I want you guys to start with the Marx and Engels piece and hammer it out. Ask questions. I'll chime in on there. And then you guys can kind of work in Adam Smith. Okay? Feel free to go off script as long as you stay on topic. The mission is to discuss Marx and Engels, and the mission is to discuss that document. And then the next time I create a video, maybe I'll come up with some of the points you should have gotten from it and try to set us up a little bit better for the next discussion. The next discussion, by the way, the stuff that I want to see happen on Thursday, you go back into that content folder, you stay in the same thing, and right underneath the Marx and Engels and Smith discussion board link, it says Thursday, March 19th. Talk about the rest of the documents, the rest of chapter 21. That is the vaguest discussion question ever, right? But really, what we've got, wow, I only have a couple of minutes here. You've got 6 documents. Arnold Pacey laying out how he's a historian that lays out how it works in Asia. And then all the rest of these documents are primary sources. One from Japan, a couple of them from Russia, one of them from Italy, describing, one of them from England, describing their experience with the Industrial Revolution. One of the ways to think about the discussion is describe the document. And then does their experience sound like more like Smith or more like Marx? Or what was their experience? You guys know how to do this. All right, look. I got like 15 seconds left. Otherwise, YouTube causes me headaches. So this is all you're going to get for right now. I'll be back in contact soon. Good luck. Stay calm. and knock out some history when you get the chance.